All right, guys, another episode of Mike and Lebs Talk Football. Got a special Manchester Derby Day special. So let's kind of roll around the room. We've got a Manchester United fan, a Manchester City fan. If you want to introduce yourself, maybe give a 1 to 2 sentence thesis statement on how you thought the game went.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Lebs. I'm hanging out here with my good friend Jared Ross. I'm going to introduce Jared first since you guys already know about me. Jared Ross is from Florida. He's played football his entire life. He's played golf his entire life. He now lives here in Memphis, where I live. And we met each other through his wife goes to school with me, and that's how we met each other. But really excited to have him on the show today. I've literally been talking to him about coming on the show since Mike and I first started up. He's very, very knowledgeable about football and about Manchester United in particular. And so he's going to serve as our Manchester United expert for today's Derby review. So, yeah, none other than Jared Ross.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate that, especially coming from a City fan. Most people just hate me, but that's okay.
Man, awesome. Well, Mike, what are we going to talk about, brother?
Well, let's start with the Derby. How did the game go for you guys based on expectations? Give me summarize it in 1 to 2 sentences.
So I'd love to let Jared talk first and just go. Jared's got a bunch of stuff prepared that he wants to talk about, and I'm just going to give him a couple minutes here. And Jared, just go on a little rant, brother. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel. Tell us everything that's going on right now.
All right. Well, in specific, I wasn't really too impressed with the game. Especially over the past, I'd say 5 or 6 matches, I think United has really struggled offensively. And I don't even want to say it's because we've been missing Paul Pogba, because I think it's hard to say one man makes a team. He is a very important piece to our puzzle, and when he is gone, it shows, because I think other people have to pick up slack where they don't feel comfortable. I think Matic doesn't feel comfortable getting up the field. I think he likes to sit defensively in front of the back 3 or the back 4, however Mourinho is trying to play it. So I think that's the biggest thing. But with the match against City, we kind of knew what Mourinho's game plan was going to be. He was going to come out, kind of sit defensively. His lineup and the way it kind of looks on paper, he kind of has a 3-back system, but in all actuality, he has wing backs through Young and Valencia who just run, all game. I wouldn't be surprised if they run, 7 or 8 miles in the game, as much as they advance up the pitch and get back defensively and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's always wanted that out of his wing backs. Luke Shaw's healthy now, so he'll be getting some more time. Darmian, when he was playing, was doing the same thing. So that's kind of he likes to play. He likes to have a very strong defense. That's just how Mourinho's always been, and that's how he'll always continue to be. So with that being said, when it came down to playing City, he had the 3 in the back, but it really was like the 5. He had Matic, Herrera, and then he had Rashford, Martial, Lingard, and Lukaku. And I thought that was a very good lineup for attacking purposes. Caleb and I had talked about it on Friday leading up to the game. I thought the attack was going to be really, really well. But, starting to watch the game, we started to sit, and it was just, I was thinking to myself, I kind of threw my hands up and said, well, here we go again, another, park in the bus game, kind of like we did against Liverpool, about a month and a half ago. And as the game went on, I realized that we were just playing counterattacking football. And really, it wasn't until, a spark was lit under us when David Silva scored in the 43rd minute. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, well, they scored, so maybe we should do something, productive. And we came out and scored 4 minutes later in stoppage time, which was really a big boost to us. And I think overall, too, watching the game, I feel like City definitely dominated. There's no question about it. United sat like we always do. But I feel like City's 2 goals came from poor defensive clearances, and it's it's hard to put the blame on Lukaku because if I was the manager, of course I would have my tallest people sitting there and helping clear the ball and stuff like that. But it's unfortunate. I know a lot of people want to put the blame on Lukaku for a terrible touch and terrible clearance. But like I said, I don't think it's one person. It takes more than just one person. I think Herrera had a horrible game. He wasn't a box-to-box midfielder. Got a yellow card, and yes, he dove. I'll be the first one to say he dove. But in the same breath, Gabriel Jesus dove as well, no card. So I think there wasn't consistency with the ref.
I want to interject. I agree with that 100%. I was sitting there watching the game, and when we call him Gabby, when Gabby was in there, I mean he's the classic Brazilian, and hey, I'm putting this out there right now. I'm full Brazil. Completely rooting for Brazil in the World Cup, 100%. Got my Brazil jersey on. I love Brazil. Shout out to all my Brazilian friends that I hope I can get to listen to this podcast if I pay them, maybe. But man, I love Gabby, but he definitely is in that Brazilian mentality that if he gets touched in the box, he's going to go down. And I don't know that there's
or
a lot of
if it can be perceived as contact, he'll go down. But
yeah.
I think. Truthfully, I think City's best moment, what came in the first half against Marcus Rojo, where he did a couple step overs in the box. Rojo, he sat down. I mean, he was beat all day, and unfortunately, he hit it with his left foot, and I don't think he hit it all that cleanly. But I definitely think that was their best moment. And kind of going back to Rojo, I think he played horrible. I mean, I was yelling at my TV. I counted, he played 12 long balls over the top to Lukaku, and 0 of them were completed.
Let me ask you this. Is that game plan, or is that Rojo taking on his own? My perception was
Rojo taking it on his own. If I was a center, if I was on that pitch, I would be screaming at him, "What are you doing? Like, we aren't Swansea. We aren't Crystal Palace. We don't just boot the ball up the field. We are a multi-billion-dollar club that has players in a position that are skillful enough that should be able to make a run, keep the ball, possess the ball, and make a pass." I mean, you watch City play, they don't hold the ball for more than 2 or 3 seconds. They take 2 touches, they get it off their foot, they keep the ball moving. Why? Because if you let the ball sit, it allows the defense to get into a position where it makes it harder to make that threatening pass or that dangerous diagonal ball. But that's what we do. We sit on the ball, we hold it for too long, and then all of a sudden everything closes down because they don't play the ball early. And his last resort is to boot it over the top. I mean, I've literally told Caleb this so many times. I think the best center back for his age right now is John Stones, 100%. If you watch that guy play center back, when he has the ball and he passes it either to his outside back, his center mid, his keeper, he is sprinting to get into a position to open up so that they can keep the ball moving. And I've told him too, I do not like Chris Smalling because I think he's terrible on the ball. He's tall in the air, he can win a lot of head balls, but he is awful with his feet. It is, and it shows too. There were a couple times inside the box where he had time to play Ashley Young on the wing, and he didn't. And it was just so frustrating. Granted, I know I'm sitting at home watching from the TV, but those guys have situational awareness. They have the composure to play at that level, but they don't think. And I think the big time games get to them, and they don't realize where they're at on the field and who's around and stuff like that. And it happens. But I think what hurt us too is not having Phil Jones and Eric Bailly back there. But like I said, I think City's 2 goals came off unfortunate and lucky bounces. And it just sometimes that's just the way it goes. And we couldn't allow them to win, and unfortunately they did. And now they sit 11 points ahead of us. They continue their winning streak, and I think, and back to the whole discussion I had with Caleb on Friday, I talked to him and I said, if City beats United, they will win the league, and I would put my life savings on it that I highly doubt a team like United or Chelsea. Burnley with their win today moved to 4, which is incredible.
What? That's not real.
No, it is.
That's fake.
No, it is. It's not fake. It's not fake news, I promise.
That's real.
Burnley moves to 4th.
Unreal. Ahead of Liverpool.
Ahead of Tottenham.
Ahead of
Arsenal. I mean, it's incredible. But I don't see anybody else in this league beating them. And I would not be surprised if City goes on to have the greatest season in Premier League history.
So I would argue that, back in September, I remember Pep calling Mourinho out for being the team that plays long ball and contrasting that to Chelsea, Tottenham. And I agree with you. It's it's shocking. And it doesn't make sense. You see the way Manchester United played against Arsenal. Mourinho's super selective in the games. He'll go out and play that risk.
I do want to interject if I might.
Go ahead.
There's so many things I want to ask Jared that I want to get on the air. The first thing I want to ask Jared is, what do you think Mourinho's game plan was, and how did that game plan differ from what happened?
I think his game plan was to play counter-attacking football. That was our 16th game of the season, and never once has he started Marcus Rashford and Martial. I think he may have done that against Arsenal, but
because I do want to say this: that lineup was extremely solid on the attacking end.
Yeah, and I think
dangerous attack.
I think he was playing counter-attacking football. I think because City gets so many men forward, I think what he was hoping for was defenders win the ball. They play it long to Lukaku. He gets a flick on to Martial, Lingard, somebody, and they go at it. And I think that's what his game plan was. But I think Lukaku, he played terrible. I mean, it's like I said, I don't want to put all the blame on one person. But in the second half, I don't know how tall Otamendi is.
He's
maybe 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
Lukaku's easily 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
He was being out-jumped by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible to watch. I'm thinking to myself, you are, 240 pounds, 230 pounds. You were probably one of the fastest people on this pitch, and you are getting out-jumped and outworked by a guy who is almost half your size.
Yeah, and not fast.
And not fast, and not tall.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You're not going up with Vincent Kompany. You're going up with, Otamendi.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind that you weren't winning head balls.
Yeah.
It was, and the thing was, I love long balls. I grew up, in the early 2000s watching United, watching David Beckham. David Beckham has been my idol since I was 7. I watched David Beckham and the England squad play New York City in the summer of 2008. They played against Colombia for a World Cup friendly leading up to it. A normal pitch is 120 by 80, so it's 80 yards wide. I watched Beckham. He was 10 yards in his own half. Play a diagonal ball to the other side of the field to Michael Owen on the run. He did not break stride, at all. On the run, Michael Owen took 2 touches, played it into Peter Crouch, and they scored. And all I could think about was, this guy is brilliant. But the difference is Rojo is playing a straight ball to a straight run. You ask any coach, that is the worst ball you could potentially play. Players have to make diagonal runs. The ball needs to be played at an angle. It's super easy to defend a straight ball with a straight run.
Mm-hmm.
You stick a leg out, there he is. You've won it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to defend that way.
Yeah.
But
it almost felt like you guys were winning. That United was winning the ball back, which was the intention. You could see the wingers, sprinting at full pace, trying to get out. You can see all of the City midfielders trying to run with them, And instead of some sort of outlet pass to one of those wingers or a long ball that's to Lukaku where he can drop it off to one of the wingers, it was just getting lost every time. There was no possession in the midfield.
Yeah, because we had, I think the formation we had wasn't suitable for possessing the ball. We had Andre Herrera and we had Matic, who are two defensive midfielders that don't like to get forward, and they like to play quick passes. But still, even in the first half, when they were just booting the ball down the field, that's not the style of football that I play. I played midfielder. I played forward growing up. That was never the style that I love to play, because as a forward, you just get winded making these long runs after long runs after long runs. It's just like, my goodness, this is so tiring.
Mm-hmm.
And, I understand if a midfield team is good, you want to bypass them and kind of play it over the top, which is fine. But, when at this high of level, with this skill level and the players that we have, I think it was ridiculous that they were trying to do that. They needed to play 1- and 2-touch football, move the ball, make City commit, because they're going to hunt. Pep's motto is, that's my ball and I want it, and you're going to win it for me.
Yeah.
And you're not going to stop running until we win it back.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden you get people that are closing you down, and you can pass through that. It's not that difficult, but you have to get into a position to open up and receive the ball. But if you stand there, it's easy to defend if you're not moving. As a defender, you're not going to move. Makes my job super easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a good point. I hate Manchester United, but Sir Alex Ferguson, greatest manager of all time for me. The things he did with the squad, the amount of money he spent. And I've had this thought, how long do Manchester United fans, there used to be the Manchester United way. You went to Old Trafford, you were terrified. Manchester City leaves Old Trafford with Sir Alex Ferguson with the draw. That's a victory.
Yeah,
and
for City it would have been, yeah. At that point, yeah.
Let me ask you this. If you're winning trophies, can you deal with this style of football? Can you let go of the, quote-unquote, United way?
Well, okay, so let's put it in perspective. Last year we won 3 trophies. Granted, it wasn't, the Champions League, it wasn't the Premier League, but we were still winning.
It wasn't the FA Cup.
It
wasn't the FA Cup. It was the EFL Cup. It was Europa, and it was the Community Shield, right? And I've talked to you about this. Those are the 3: EFL, Europa, Community Shield.
Yeah.
And we've had this discussion over text message. Those aren't good trophies, but I do think it'll be different this year. I do think it'll change.
Not, out of those, it's not a Mickey Mouse. That's
no, because even look at the people that are in Europa League now. You got Arsenal, you have Atletico, you have AC Milan. These are still top teams in their division, and I don't remember who all. I know Tottenham dropped out last year,
mm-hmm.
And that really was the only team that I was surprised that didn't make it through. And then they lost in the round of 32, I think, as well. They didn't even make it that far to begin with. But I definitely think that was huge for us, and really that was the only trophy that United has never won.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of incredible that well, I don't know if it is incredible or not, because that we've never played in the EPL and never won it, or we've always made it in Champions League, and we've.
You mean never played in Europa?
Correct. Yes, my apologies. Never played in Europa, but I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, because that just shows maybe how dominant we were and
mm-hmm.
how we were able to make it through the group stage and into the round of 16 and kind of advance from there. But
so I want to nail you down to the question. So let's go back to the actual question. Can you, as a longtime United fan, be okay with this style if it means that you could win the Premier League or the FA Cup or the Champions League, big trophies that United fans are used to winning? If you're, let's say that City had come to Old Trafford, y'all had parked the bus, successfully played counterattacking football, and won the game 2-1 instead of losing the game 2-1. And then you close the gap to 5 points, and now you're ready to hunt down City for the EPL. So let's say that had happened. Do you feel like you would be happier with the style of football? Do you feel like you would be able to accept playing like that?
I've never been happy with this style of football. I've never been happy about parking the bus. I think it's a childish way to play. I would much rather I would much rather try and play out of the back and lose it in my own 18-yard box than boot it halfway up the field and lose it in our attack and lose it, on their side of the field.
Yeah.
Because I just think the evolution of the game has changed to where this is how it's played. It's no longer long balls over the top trying to beat teams. I think it's this quick 1 and 2 touch type football. And and here's my thing. Look how successful City is this year. It took them a while because what did City have to go out and get this year? They had to go out and get defenders that were fast and that were good on the ball.
Yeah.
And so now, they spent, 50-something or $40-something million on Kyle Walker. They've spent
50, so it was 52 on Kyle Walker, 55 on Benjamin Mendy.
Yeah, and then
injured, unfortunately.
Yeah, but still, that other guy that's come in,
Fabian Delph,
he's done just as good as for them as
$8 million from Aston Villa 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's been crazy.
But what they've been able to do is they've been able to go out and get players so they can build out of their back, and that's why I don't think City did as well last year, because I think they had, who's that guy that plays for West Ham now?
Oh, Pablo Zabaleta.
He's slow.
Yeah.
He's old, not good on the
ball. City legend. Slow and old.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And so you couldn't have that playing in Pep's system. And so I think now what he has done should make every team in the Premier League scared out of their minds. Because if this is how it's going to be, they will run the league for as long as that guy's in town. 100%. He's here for the next 5 years until he decides he wants to go take his talent to Italy and go run, AC Milan over there. Every team, the EPL, should be worried that this guy will run train on them. 100%.
Bold.
So I'm going to make a statement, and then I'm going to ask you a question. My statement is the contrast in looking at the two managers since Mourinho came in and Pep came in. I'm not going to speak to Mourinho. I'll let you kind of address that part of my statement. But Pep, I see him coming to a team. He's made purchases, but there's two players on that City team that he's turned into. He's completely enhanced their careers by a ton, and that's Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. And Raheem Sterling was definitely kind of spinning his wheels when and now the guy's a constant starter with a group of elite players. I don't see that as much with Mourinho, elevation of individual players. And then my question is, so for you, is he the man moving forward for you, Mourinho, to take the club forward?
I would say yes, just because he's been successful at other clubs, and I hope that he can find the success here. But we play Bournemouth coming up. We have the next 5 or 6 games should be interesting if we can continue to win and stay at pace with City. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we do have some injuries. I think the biggest thing that needs to happen right now is he really needs to work with Lukaku. There was a game I couldn't tell you what game it was, and I saw a stat that said that entire game I think Lukaku had 12 touches of the ball or something like that, something outrageous. And it just blew my mind that our starting striker has 12 touches on the ball. How are you supposed to score? How are you supposed to be a threat when you have 12 touches on the ball?
And how many chances did he have in that game? Good chances did he have in the derby?
I remember that one I just
remember one.
Yeah,
that's it.
That your keeper made an incredible save, but that's okay because sometimes all you need is one chance. That's all you need. But when you can't capitalize on that one chance, I don't want to put the blame on Everton because, maybe coming to United, he feels there is a huge spotlight. We're, the most successful English club ever. And, that carries a lot of weight. And maybe he just wasn't ready to be part of, something this big. But I think he has it in him to do well. I wish him nothing but the best. I want him to do better. We need him to do better. But now that we have Zlatan back, who has a rivalry on the team with him? Nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody competes with him for his starting job. He has it, and it's why not sub him or take him off, put Rashford up top. Back when we had LVG.
Oh, Louis Van Gaal.
I don't remember his name because he's such a terrible coach. But we had Rashford playing forward, and he was annihilating teams. Why not do that again? He's bigger now. He's faster now. Put him up top. Okay, I'm going to kind of go on a rabbit trail. I watched Chelsea play today. Morata didn't play, so they had Hazard up top playing their forward. I have never seen him play so well for Chelsea. He was checking to the ball. He was laying it off. These layups were gorgeous. I mean, they were absolutely sensational. What's Lukaku doing? Like get involved in the game if you have to, for gosh sakes. Check back, get the ball, build some confidence early, and go from there. But I definitely think that Mourinho's style of play hurts can hurt a forward's mojo. Not being able to receive the ball, not being able to get a lot of attempts on goal.
Yeah.
I
gotta interject here. Mike, do you have a problem? I need to say something real quick that I've been waiting.
The only thing I was gonna say, I was gonna make the point, and I think you made it. Matic and Herrera versus Pogba, that link up, he's not getting the support.
Yep.
No, absolutely not, because Pogba will get up the pitch and he will be there. And first game Pogba came back, we played. I
don't remember.
But we won 4-1.
Yeah.
First game Pogba missed after had that hamstring injury during Champions League. Came back, we scored 4 goals.
All right, so I gotta go on this because I've been waiting to talk about this. So I blame everything that's going on right now. I blame everything that's going on right now with United on Jose Mourinho. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't like him. I've never liked him. I talked about it on our first podcast that I don't like him. I don't think he's good enough to manage Manchester United. And I'm a Manchester City fan, but I am also an American City fan, meaning that I didn't grow up with this unbelievable hatred for Manchester United. I got into watching football in 2010, and I became a City fan because I liked that they were the underdogs, and I always try to root for the underdog. But I didn't have this incredible burning hatred for United. And I started learning more about United and learning about their players and learning about their history. And I don't think it's wrong for an objective person to look at them and say, wow, this is a club that has won a lot, that has a certain style, that has a certain flair, that has a certain pride and a certain history. And I remember when City won the league in 2011, 2012, and when we beat Man U in the derby that year, what a big deal it was, and how it was like this changing of the guard, and it was somehow City is going from being the noisy neighbors to now they're going to be something more and like a power. And ever since then, ever since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, it just hasn't been the same. I mean, Moyes came in, LVG has come in, and now Mourinho's come in, and United are struggling to find that manager that's going to be their new leader going forward. And I'm going to disagree with Jared. I don't think Jose Mourinho is the guy. I don't know who the guy is, but there is someone else out there that can restore the pride and the style that Manchester United play with. Because I'm going to be honest, I think, because Sir Alex Ferguson was there at that game, a lot of United legends were there at that game, I think Sir Alex Ferguson was sitting up there in that box, steaming out of his ears, just furious because Manchester City, who he despises, was absolutely running United ragged on that pitch, was dragging them around, was making them look kind of foolish sometimes because I don't think this system and the setup is correct. I think that United has enough talent to compete with City man for man. I think if you look at the rosters, United have their wage bill is higher than City's. They also spent more money than City. Lukaku and Pogba cost more each than any of our players do. They have the squad. The squad is there. The issue is completely on management. And I do believe, and also I don't want to, and I said this to Jared, I wish Pogba would have played because I want to see United go toe-to-toe with City and really see how they stack up. because unfortunately now we don't really know how they stack up because we didn't get to see Pogba play. And Pogba makes an enormous difference on that team. He is the connection from defense to offense that United need. He would have helped Lukaku so much that game. And we would have actually gotten to see what Lukaku is capable of. Because Lukaku barely touched the ball because he's isolated by himself against both Otamendi and Vincent Kompany for part of it, and then Fernandinho and Otamendi for the Fernandinho and Mangala for the last bit of it. And he wasn't able to touch the ball. So I wish Pogba would have played. And I blame him for getting that red card. I'm not going to let him off the hook. I think it was a stupid challenge to make to get that card. I understand that it was a sketchy circumstance and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't think he should have gone in for that challenge. I don't think he should have gotten suspended because of it. And I just wish he would have played. But I blame the entire thing on Jose Mourinho. And I do think that Jose will probably not last because I don't think that the United powerhouse fans, the movers and shakers, including Sir Alex, are okay with that style. I just don't think they're going to put up with that style any longer.
So let me kind of counteract that statement. I disagree with that, and the reason I disagree with that is I think this year they showed someone had done some research and looked to see how many 4-0 victories or how many games that United had scored 4 goals in during Moyes and during LVG time at United, and it was like 4. It was next to nothing. They didn't have that many games. This season alone, I think we have like 5. In one season, we have 5, and we're not even halfway through. Our goal differential, our goals scored against, our goals against, or for and against. Right now, we're in second. Of course, City's in first with 37, but United sits at 25. Chelsea is at 17. Liverpool's at 14. Tottenham's at 14. Arsenal's at 10. I mean, so yeah, it does. We do park the bus, but I just think he's just trying to play counter-attacking football, and I don't agree with it. But I believe he is the manager going forward. He just has to be able to connect the offense to the defense. Right now, I think he's too focused on the defensive side of it, and there isn't enough emphasis on the on the attacking side. And I've heard transfer rumors that there's a chance we could be going after Griezmann again come January. I heard that we might be going after Ozil in the transfer window. I mean, you look at it. Where's Mkhitaryan been?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't played in 8 games. Something incredible like that. And he started the season. He had 5 or 6 assists through 5 games. Something outrageous. He didn't even get that last season, and he played in 40-something games. He never even sniffed that, and he was already at 5 or 6 assists through the first 5 games. Where has he been? He's on the bench because the last couple games he hasn't been playing well. So Mourinho sat him. Where's Mata been? Mata came in for our last Champions League game because I think somebody got hurt, and he played really well. Mourinho has gone to this counterattacking football instead of having someone like a Mata or someone who's good on the ball as well, kind of be in there and be in support and kind of drive the midfield. But we don't have anyone right now. We had 2 defensive midfielders, and if Fellaini was better, he probably would have put Fellaini in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's just
because your front 4 was Lukaku up top, Jesse Lingard right behind him, Martial on the left, and Rashford on the right, which looks really good if you're just trying to counterattack. But the problem is Jesse Lingard is not capable of getting the ball from Matic or from Herrera and getting it up to Lukaku.
And then what do they do defensively? They don't do anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
They don't help out on defense, and that's why he has to play what looks like a 3 is actually a 5, because he knows that those guys really aren't going to help out on defense, which is, you don't blame them because they probably, wouldn't be very good, but, it's just, it's frustrating. It really is, and you can't get mad because, so I did some research here, and since 2006, our last, I looked at the 06, 07, 07, 08, the 10, 11, and the 12, 13 seasons, and these are all the years that we won. And the last year that we won, the 12, 13 season, through the first 16 games, we were 13, 0, and 3, and we were at 39 points. The 10, 11 season, we were 9, 7, and 0 with 34 points. The 07, 08, we were 11, 3, and 2 at 36 points. 06, 07, we were 13, 2, and 1 at 41 points. The years that we were, that we won the league out of those 4 years, we were only in second once. And, our highest point total was 41. And right now, we sit at 11, 2, and 3 with 35 points through 16 games. So that really, it's not bad. Like, it really isn't terrible where we are at points. I think it was a terrible loss to Huddersfield. I think that was an awful loss, which should have been a win, which would have put us to 38. I don't think we should have lost to Chelsea, which would have put us at 39. And I don't think we should have lost to City. I think, what I said before stands true still, that they got, 2 good breaks off 2 terrible clearances. Mm-hmm. And that was really all that they had. Yeah, they possessed it, but, I don't think that they actually had one really good shot on goal.
Yeah, and so actually, I'm not going to disagree with that. I do want to say that we did not play incredibly well, and I think there's a lot of hype that's happening online and in the media about how much City dominated that match. Well, yeah, we dominated the possession, and we did dominate the match, but we didn't create any incredible chances.
Yeah.
We don't have any great chances, and the goals were crap.
Mediocre.
They were crap.
Yeah.
Both of them were just crap goals. So, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, United got ran off the pitch sometimes because they couldn't get the dadgum ball off of us, but it's not like we created 15 chances and should have won 6-0 or something.
Yeah. So with those 3 games, with us being at 40 points, that would have, matched one of our highest point totals. And if you look at our seasons, it really is not bad. But people are focusing on City and where they're at right now and how they are 15, 1, and 0. They are on an incredible run, and they're at 46 points, and that's all that matters right now. So yeah, it's great that we're still up there, we're still doing great. We're tied for second after the Chelsea win today. But it doesn't matter because we need to keep pace with City, and it's and so I think that's why people are frustrated. They're not mad that we're still pretty successful for the most part, but what they're mad about is the fact that we aren't keeping pace with City, mm-hmm. and we're doing dumb stuff to shoot ourselves in the foot. City is finding a way to win, and we're not. And that's, I think, what it really boils down to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree completely.
So, Caleb, this is where and even Liverpool, I get at looking at this City team, and I'm like, there's a place to attack it. It's your back 4.
Yeah.
It's a freaking makeshift. It's just in shambles. And
yeah.
Fernandinho, how tall is he? The guy is not taller than 5'8".
Yeah.
And he's
he's playing center back right now. He's literally a starting center back for us right now because Vincent Kompany went out injured.
You're the worst player on your team.
Yes, by far. And so I would like to talk about that. Mangala is not going to get played very much. Fernandinho is literally going to be starting at center back. You watch. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
We're playing Swansea tomorrow. And
dude, you're playing Swansea. City's probably going to play that one kid, that 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, Phil Foden.
Yeah. The kid's going to be a phenom. They're probably going to play him. Yeah. Swansea's awful, man. You could get the maintenance crew at Etihad to play against Swansea, and they'd probably do better.
Yeah. So it's literally Pep's gonna play. Also, it's cool. Pep has said he has come up with a new system for how to beat the parked bus in the EPL. He started talking about it the other day. And basically his new system is only playing one true center back.
Yeah.
One true center back way back, and then Fernandinho right in front of that, and then everybody else is just attacking players.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious when people were analyzing our transfer window at the end of the summer. They were like, what, is City going to play 9 men up front with a goalkeeper and 1 defender? Yes.
Yeah.
That's literally what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to do against Swansea tomorrow. What were you gonna? Did you have a question you related to, Mike? I totally cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's. I was going to make a point. It's the style of play, the possession, the emphasis on recycling the ball that really protects your back four.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that the back four is a mess, but there's not much you can do to get at it. The efficiency and possession, and that's like the transfer. That's a transformation that made City so dangerous. I mean, almost the same group of players from last year. I mean, except Gabriel like really coming into his form, but I mean, like the team has clicked on with the system. Like my test was Aguero, that whatever that time period was out. Yeah. Like if City comes through this, like they'll win the league. That was my thought. Did totally fine without Aguero because it's a system now. People understand what Pep wants, and it took some time, and it also took some time at Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a video that came out a couple years ago, and Thierry Henry was talking about Pep's style and how it's this is how Pep wants you to play, and if you don't play Pep's way, he'll take you off the field. And Thierry Henry was talking about this and how, you're a left midfielder. You stay on the left side of the field. Do not, come into the middle and congest it. You stay where you're at.
Well, even what were you when you told me this before, Jared, where do they have to stay? Like there's a specific, it's super specific.
Heels on the touchline.
Yeah.
Do not. Like, if you're a left center midfielder, do not come into the right side and congest the space. Stay wide, because what that does is it spreads the defense out, and it creates all these gaps and all these passing lanes. And Thierry Henry, dude's a legend. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He scored a goal, and halftime he got subbed out, and he's thinking, well, what the heck? Like, why did I get subbed out? And he asked Pep, and Pep goes, Thierry, like this is my system. You did not follow my system, and so now you will come off. Mm. That's it. I mean, it's his way or the highway. And he told him, Pep's goal is to get you from your defensive third to your middle third, and it's your job to finish it from there, from the attacking third. From there, now it's free. Now, you play 1 and 2 touch football and you're moving and you're passing. But from, your defensive third to your middle third, stay in your positions and move the ball around. And what he found success in was at when he was at Barca. He had Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Pedro, David Silva. I mean, you name it. He's had some of the best attacking players, and they bought into his system, and they were so successful. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to make this point too, back to the whole coaches thing. Mourinho went to Madrid with Ronaldo, and he didn't have much success there. I mean, they didn't really win a whole lot, not compared to what Pep did at Barca. And and this is the one thing I'm worried about. Can Mourinho coach a team with superstars like the rates of Pogba and if whoever else he brings in and Lukaku? Like, does he know how to make them a better player? Like what you were saying, Mike, about how Pep has made Sterling and De Bruyne just these just masterpieces on the field. Can he do that? And it's maybe time will tell, maybe time won't tell. But right now that's where our faith is in. But it's just it's just a lot of hoping right now. So
I do think that you guys do have a really good shot at making a long run in Champions League.
Oh, 100%. Especially that now that we've drawn Sevilla. I think that was a lucky break for us. Hopefully that kind of, right now they sit 5th in La Liga. They got annihilated by Real Madrid. They lost like 5-0 this past weekend.
Wait, I thought Real Madrid wasn't good anymore.
No. I don't know where you heard that.
No, a lot of people online are saying Real Madrid's not good. The media's like, oh, Real Madrid, they're not what they were. They're not that good, blah, blah, blah. They're still good.
Yeah, dude, they're
still good.
Like, the past last year when they won the Champions League, they didn't win their bracket. They finished 2nd.
Yeah.
People are too worried. It's just the media
hype.
Constant
People
are worried about, right now, but, talk to them when they play. I mean, they pulled PSG, which...
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait!
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that sucks more for. If it's for PSG or for Real Madrid, but you know.
Dude, Mike, can we talk about the Champions League now?
Okay. Talk a little bit about Sevilla. I mean, Liverpool had them in their group. They're not particularly strong. I mean, I agree that's a great matchup. How do you feel about City's matchup in the round of 16?
We hit a home run. We got Basel. That was the best case scenario for us. If we screw this up, let the hatred flow. You know, like if we blow this, then we have no right to say that we're even a good football team. So, yeah, this should be a layup.
I am very proud of the fact that the Premier League teams are starting to make a run again.
Yes.
And I think it's just the changing of the guard. And I heard someone say this a couple years ago. The reason why the Spanish teams were so successful is they had the best two players in the world playing in La Liga with Real Madrid and Barcelona. I mean, that was the only reason why they were so successful, is because those guys were gods among men.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think now, as them getting older, I think that Premier League teams being better and being stronger. I think that you'll see a lot of the Premier League teams make a deep run from here on out. So
I think
first time in history ever 5 English teams in the Champions League in the knockout round.
What five is it?
It's all the time. It's United, City, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool. But no, I think it's not even that. It's the first 5 teams of a table have gone through.
Like in any league.
Because
right?
the only reason there's 5 from the Premier League is because United won Europa.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Or it would have been 4.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason. So never in the history of Champions League has there been 5 teams from the same league made it to the round of 16.
That's actually really cool. That's cool stuff.
We really need a Premier League team to win it, step up and win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now, kind of to Liverpool, watching them play and watching them how dominant they were in that 7-1 or 7-0 victory. You guys have a lot of good attacking force. And I was actually kind of shocked that Klopp, decided to leave Coutinho and.
Super shocking. Mike, what was that?
I can't think of the other guy's name. The dude with the pearly white teeth.
Firmino, Bobby.
Like it was kind of mind blowing, especially when you guys were playing in your guys' derby. I feel like you would put your strongest team out there. That he should have rested them for that 7-0 victory and got them ready for this one, right? Because they're already through to Champions League. He should have rested them and then put his strongest team in for against Everton.
Dude, Mike, talk to us, man. I want to hear about this.
So yeah, it's tough. Like going into this match, we were the most rotated team in the Premier League. We're on a great run. We lost to Tottenham back in, I guess it was September. We lost 4-1. Now we're above Tottenham on points. I mean, so he's been rotating pretty heavily, and I'm not making excuses. Like what happened was we rested 2 of our best players, and I mean we should have won that game, like down to an individual error from Mane and a ghost penalty call. But I mean, like that's the thing though. Like how many more goals would you have scored if you had Coutinho and Firmino on?
But I tell you what though, you say the ghost penalty, and what's really irked me over the past couple games is I've seen refs not give a call just because it's in the box, and that frustrates me because I think there's a foul. But I think because it's in the box, they don't want to call it. Because you would see the same foul, if Caleb was dribbling down the line and I stepped in front of him and there was a call for obstruction, they'd still call it. But if that happened in the box,
it's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different thing. It's
right.
like what? Like
they apply a new set of rules.
Yeah. Well, if it's a penalty, if it's a foul, then it's a foul. It doesn't matter where it is on the pitch. It's still a foul. And I think that's frustrating because I definitely think that Everton forward got pushed by
was it Klavan who
No.
gave it up?
Who was it?
Mike, who gave up the penalty? It was
Lovren.
yeah.
I definitely think he somewhat shoved him, but it wasn't terrible. But I think it was still a foul, and it was like, wow, like he actually called a foul. I was actually shocked that happened.
I was shocked that they called that, but I was also not shocked because it felt like it was coming in a way. like it felt like Liverpool were going to give up the goal. I don't know why. It just, to me, I felt like it was moving that way. Did you feel like that, Mike? Or, I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, it's like this old defeatist attitude creeps inside of me. Like, we revert back to our ways. Like, as soon as that ball from Mane wasn't squared up for the tap in, like, I was like, oh, okay, like, this is how this is going to go. Like, and sure enough, I mean, Everton had very little chances. I think their first corner was, like, some ways into the second half. I mean, they definitely did. I mean, just total golfing class, manager, players, anything can happen on a derby day, but I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot not putting that chance away. Like, that would have been what would have been a probably 4 or 5-0 game turned into this frustrating slugfest. But I mean, that's Big Sam. He has no interest in playing. He's just going to disrupt your play and see what happens.
Sounds familiar.
Wait, are we talking about Mourinho? But dude, I will say though that signing of the summer has been your the Egyptian mastermind.
Oh,
dude, that kid, he will be the Premier League Player of the Year, 100%. That guy is incredible.
It'll be between him and Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin might win Premier League Player of the Year, I'm hoping, and maybe Mo can win the Golden Boot. That's my hope.
Yeah.
But who knows? They give it to the same player most of the time. So.
I hope they both don't win anything, but that's just
It's pretty crazy too. Like, the dude, his positioning is so good. He does not play striker. He does not play up top. It's just the ebb and flow of our team and the way we rotate players. I mean, and Salah's always making the run.
Yeah, and you know, watching teams like that, watching teams like City, you know, it's just mind blowing that, you know, Lukaku can't be more in the game. You know, a coach told me, if you aren't getting the ball, go find it. You know, be in a position to where you can receive it, demand it, start screaming at players. I was talking to Caleb back when United had played Arsenal. We won at Arsenal 3-1 this couple weeks ago, but Valencia's first goal, if you go back and watch it, Lukaku screaming for the ball at the top of the box, and all he would have had to do was cut left, beat one defender, and go far post. And it was just, you know, so frustrating to watch. Yeah, we scored, but, you know, I know as a forward it gets frustrating when you can't, as a forward, get the ball in an attacking area when you have the opportunity.
Well, we've hit 52 minutes so far, and man, I think we've had some really, really good discussion. I want to give Jared one more opportunity to have some closing statements if there's anything left that he wants to say, and then we'll wrap up the show. So, Jared, I'm going to give you the floor for another minute or two here.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been fun. Hopefully, we'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I want to say is, you know, I think United, there's a lot that needs to happen right now. You know, I think City is just playing out of this world right now. I think they're going to break a lot of records. And United used to have a phrase called Fergie time, and I think, you know, City is kind of, they haven't adopted it, but, you know, I'm going to consider them the late show because of Raheem Sterling and how clutch he is right now. But, you know, there's a lot of things I think can change, but I don't want to be the typical English fan that all of a sudden, you know, one game doesn't go right and we're all of a sudden, like, you know, calling for his resignation. You know, I know a lot of English fans, even when it comes to, like, you know, World Cup, you know, they get so angry and they want to put the blame on one person. And I still think that, you know, that United City game, you can't put the blame on one person.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't golf, it's not tennis. You know, it's a team sport, and I think it takes the whole team, you know, playing as a cohesive unit to win. And I think if we would have won, it would have showed, you know, what our capability was. But like I said, I think, you know, there was just two unlucky times for us. But I think we'll move forward. We'll do well now and in Champions League and stuff like that. But you know, we just need the whole team to come back healthy and hopefully, you know, continue to be successful and move forward. I think the next 5 games in the Premier League should be I don't want to say a cakewalk, but, you know, I don't think we have anyone really strong for a while, so which is good. So hopefully we can build some confidence, get some 3 points home and away, and continue the run of form that we've been on for the most part. So,
Jared, thanks, man. Thanks so much for being here. Mike, dude, let's switch it over, man. It's time for my favorite part of the podcast that we do every single week without fail, and it's time for Music Corner.
Time for Music Corner.
Music Corner. You know this is my favorite part of the show. I have got a deep find for you here today, my brother. I'm very excited about this one. This is one that I don't think anyone who knows me would ever have called this. This is someone that has been around a long time, has been making incredible music for a long time, and a lot of music, honestly, that I don't like. I don't normally like this artist's music. She's not someone that I've ever followed or ever been a fan of, but she came out with a new record recently, and it's so good that I got it on vinyl. It's Leanne Womack, and the album is called The Lonely, The Lonesome, and The Gone. And it's just really good blues/country tunes. And I would highly recommend anybody that likes good music with a lot of soul to check out this album. So go and check out Leanne Womack's new album. I really like it. I've got it on vinyl. I've been listening to it constantly here at the house. So yeah, that's my music edition for Music Corner this week, Mike.
Yeah, so I found this cool band. Band's called Horse Feathers. Specifically, this album they released in 2010. It's just kind of this alternative indie band that rolled up on my playlist. Really good music, nice folk sounds, specifically the song "Belly of June." Yeah, I mean it's worth checking out. I mean it's kind of got like a twist of like an old Mumford and Sons, kind of like the way Babel sounded, really. So, yeah.
Cool. You said Horse Feathers is the name?
Horse Feathers, and specifically the album. The album is called "Thistled Spring."
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, definitely be something to check out. I appreciate it. Well, Mike, I know you haven't gotten to talk very much because you got two loudmouths on this side, and plus, we needed to talk about our teams. But, man, is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Thanks for coming on, Jared. It's so nice to get another area of expertise. Totally fine moderating. Like, I liked hearing the aspects on both sides of the derby, especially being in neutral, quote-unquote. No, I don't have anything to add. It's good.
Cool. Good, man. Well, hey, everybody. I really appreciate everyone for listening. Really excited to announce that we've got some cool stuff going on as far as our distribution. So I'm actually successfully this week getting us on air on the podcast app for iOS and the Podcast Addict app for Android. And as always, you can find us on Facebook at Mike and Lebs. The show is called Mike and Lebs Talk Football, and we're on Instagram as well, at Mike and Lebs. You can email us at mikeandlebs@gmail.com. And man, just please feel free to shoot us an email, drop us a like on Facebook. We need to get stuff posted on Instagram, but I intend on doing some of that stuff this week. So, man, just really excited, and we should have another podcast. This one will be coming out tomorrow. And then we'll have another podcast after that, just reviewing the crazy Christmas season, probably in about a week or two. So a lot of good stuff going forward. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Mike and Lebs Talk Football, and look forward to seeing y'all again. Have a good one.